I'm Jim Fausone, and I'm an attorney with Legal Help for Veterans, and we wanted to talk today about the Purple Heart Award. We get a lot of questions here at Legal Help for Veterans relative to that, and we always turn those over to Brigadier General Carol Ann Fausone, retired. She's a nurse and heads up our problem-solving division of Legal Help for Veterans, and it's amazing how many times we get asked about the Purple Heart and how do I get a Purple Heart that I either earned or maybe my parents earned, my dad earned, and we don't have a copy of it. As many people know, the Purple Heart was established by General George Washington in 1782. It was really one of the first recognition awards. There's a whole lot of history around it, a whole lot of sort of breaking the barrier. American servicemen didn't want to be like Europeans who were dripping in awards, and so there was sort of a disinclination to give out military medals. But the Purple Heart was the first one to recognize those who have been wounded or killed in service of the United States. There's certain criteria to be awarded a Purple Heart. First and foremost, it's any action against an enemy of the United States, but it's really more complicated than that because it can be while in action with opposing armed forces of a foreign country in which the armed forces of the United States has been engaged. It can also be while you're serving with friendly foreign forces engaged in armed conflict. There's also in the regulations, it can be as a result of an act of a hostile foreign force. There's been changes to the requirements over time, including recognizing the role that injuries as a result of international terrorist attacks may have occurred to military members, and also the recognition that military members may be so injured in peacekeeping forces around the world. And then certainly there's also some regulations dealing with service members who are killed or wounded by friendly fire, which unfortunately happens. So Carol Ann, we're glad to have you here to talk about the Purple Heart today. Maybe give sort of a high-level explanation to folks about what they should understand about qualifying for the Purple Heart. And again, you do many of these phone calls with both service members and family members. So walk us through that a little bit.
Sure, Jim. Thank you. Well, one of the most important things I can share with the audience today is this regulation has been revised, and it's a lot simpler. According to, there's a new reg, AR 600-8-22. This was adopted 5 March of 2019, and it does simplify the process. It describes who is deserving of a Purple Heart, and sometimes with the examples that they give in theater, and it also gives you examples of those that do not qualify, which is hard a lot of time for people to understand. And so some of the, enemy-related injuries I think that we're all aware of is the enemy bullets, the shrapnel, the projectiles, mines, traps, IEDs, warfare, chemical, biological, or nuclear agents. Some of those are, I think, very obvious, but it's the process that goes along with that wound that will award you the Purple Heart.
So let me ask about injuries caused by vehicle or airplane accidents, because, you might get injured in a car accident or a vehicle accident and be qualified for VA disability, but it takes another level or type of vehicle accident, doesn't it, to qualify for the Purple Heart?
Yes, any of those accidents that occur have to be related literally to enemy action. So if you've got an accident on a truck, just because you got a wound or you needed sutures, etc., does not qualify you for the Purple Heart. And so that gets really hard to explain sometimes to our veterans.
And I suppose this is the same thing with concussion injuries. We hear from guys who got concussions playing sports while in the military, But that doesn't qualify them for a Purple Heart, does it?
Well, it depends sometimes on the situation. Some of those concussions will definitely award you the Purple Heart, but you have to be...
It has to be caused by some sort of enemy action, though, right? The example I'm trying to explain is for those people who got a concussion playing football, that wouldn't qualify for a Purple Heart, would it?
No.
And I think there's times where, a guy might hear, hey, I got a Purple Heart for a concussion I had, and the guy next to him at the Legion post is wondering why he didn't get it. And it's really about whether or not the cause was related to enemy action.
Well, it's the cause, but it's also the critical point that they stress in the regulation. If you've seen a medical officer, if you have been confined to duty, if you have been pulled out of duty for 48 to 72 hours, and just because you get downtime does not constitute that. And it has to be documented extremely well, and you have had to see a medical officer. And that's clearly described in the regulation, which I think they've done an outstanding job of deferring now what does going to qualify and what does not qualify for the Purple Heart.
Like what you heard? Listen to this full episode and more on the Apple Podcasts app, Blog Talk Radio, Google Podcasts, or iHeartRadio. And now streaming on Amazon Music, Audible, and Spotify.